Hello, going to prepare some quinoa vegetarian chili. Now I've modified this recipe from Pinterest. I get a lot of ideas and things from Pinterest and then kind of put my own spin and remix on it. Currently watching the Colts game right now at the time of this recording. So I'm trying to cook in between watching the game and said, hey, I might as well create a video for this recipe. Now this is the first time that I'm preparing this recipe, so my official taste testers, which are my husband and my youngest son, they'll let me know after I prepare it if it's a good one or not. But this is a Daniel Fast approved dish. So for those that are not familiar with the Daniel Fast is basically a plant-based diet. Well, let me say it's a plant-based plan that essentially is for it's a spiritual fast, but it's also you're removing some items from your diet. So no dairy, meat, added sugars that includes honey, stevia, no caffeine that includes also tea, coffee, obviously sodas, no fast food. So it's essentially following a plant-based diet for a lot of times people go for 21 days, as in Daniel 1. So if you want to check out that diet, it is definitely a spiritual fast, but also there's health gains that are also obtained for that. So Church New Direction does do the Daniel fast at the beginning of the year in January. So essentially that first week in January, 21 days. So I post a lot of different recipes that people can try and be able to help them during this time where they're eliminating some foods from their diets for that spiritual gain, and also they get that physical gain from that as well. So been experimenting. I've been doing a lot of different Daniel fasts throughout probably 10 or 11 years now, and have a lot of different recipes I end up using. I said, well, let's go ahead and get some recorded. Well, this one is a quinoa. So if you're not familiar with quinoa, it's classified as a whole grain, but it's actually a seed. So it's high in protein, fiber, B vitamins, just to name a few, and it's also a complete protein. So it includes all of the 9 essential amino acids that our bodies can't produce. So those that are following or want to follow a more plant-based diet, sometimes we're missing some of those amino acids that our body needs. But quinoa actually is a complete protein. So it does include all the 9 essential amino acids that our body cannot develop. So we started out with, right now on the cutting board, if you can see, we have sauteed some diced up one yellow onion, about 1/4 to 1/2 of a green bell pepper, and then garlic, some peeled garlic. Diced that up. Got that all sauteed first on the stove. So I'm going to go ahead, pop that in here so that we can get that as our base at the bottom. I'm going to end up, you can make this on the stove, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the slow cooker because I'm going to end up watching the rest of this game. And it's just easier. Pop it in there, almost set it and forget it, essentially. I've already cooked the quinoa. This Simply Nature brand is actually an Aldi's brand. Aldi's has a very good selection of natural products, gluten-free products, organic, and Simply Nature is their brand, is the Aldi brand. So I've already prepared the quinoa per the package. Now you can prepare this with water, or you can also use a broth. So I actually use our leftover turkey bones from Thanksgiving and made some turkey broth. So I actually used my quinoa with turkey broth. But during the Daniel fast, since turkey is a meat-based product, you can use vegetable broth, or you can just prepare it with water. So quinoa is right there. So I end up doing, I believe, 1 cup or so of quinoa. So it seems like when you make rice. So it's 2 cups of water or whatever broth and 1 cup of the quinoa. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I have my little seasonings in there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my quinoa in there. You wanna make sure the quinoa takes about maybe 10-15 minutes to make. So you wanna watch that. You hear some jingling in the background, that's probably my dog wandering around. He's getting a little bored. So when he does that, we taught him to hit the bell on the back door to go outside to go to the bathroom. But a lot of time he just starts hitting the bell. I'm gonna stir what I already have, the peppers and the onions in there already. And so let me, my dog is ringing about. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So just stirring this around in there now. I've already had yellow onion, peppers, garlic that was sauteed. That's in there. And then I have my already prepared quinoa. So I made those both on the stove prior to video. These there. So what we have next here is we're gonna have 2 cans of black beans. This is a Kroger black beans, under $1. And these is actually the no salt added. So another thing to watch out when you're looking at packaged goods and canned goods is looking at the salt intake, because that can be another thing that can let's say speed up in a hurry and you'll see a lot of salt in. So I got no salt added for the black beans, and I've drained these beans as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out 2 cans of the black beans in there. A lot of times I do several different types of chili, and I'll use like 5 different types of bean, but this particular recipe just use black beans. And also, this is corn. I use this corn very sparingly, but this has about 1/4 of the package left of corn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the corn that we have left. This is just regular frozen corn. Any brand is fine. And frozen is perfectly fine too. Not finding too much fresh corn anyways at this time of the year. Corn is in there. That's still frozen. We got those packed in there. Next we have, and this is Simple Truth Organic. This is the Kroger organic line. And this is no salt added crushed tomatoes. So that's another thing to be looking for. Look at canned goods now. Look at the sales so that you can start preparing yourself if you are going to make adjustments in your eating habit, and you are going to participate in the Daniel fast. Look and see what's on sale and start stocking now. If you have any questions about that, you want to just post in the comments. I will check them out and say, hey, what is it that I need, and what are some staples that will be go-tos for you during that time. Oh, spilled that out a little bit. But this is already open. So, got that in there. And this is a 28-ounce can. So sometimes you'll see that it calls for 2, like 14 or 15-ounce can. This just all came 28 ounces. A little messy on the front there. All right, so to actually, what I use to saute the onions and peppers and the garlic was extra virgin olive oil. This is like a go-to. That's why I have this big old 40 shody bottle right here. Almost 40 ounces of extra virgin olive, because it is a go-to oil for me in cooking every single day. And I use spray cooking oil as too, and it's the same thing. Most likely extra virgin olive oil or grapeseed oil. So seasonings here. This is going to be my first time using this, but this is the Prvlge Collection. This is actually a small business, a Black-owned business that has seasonings that I was able to support during Small Business Saturday in and order. So their classic Prvlge Collection. This has roasted garlic, toasted onion, thyme, black pepper, paprika, sea salt, caraway seeds, and other spices. So I really don't do too much measuring when it comes to the seasoning. It's kind of like a you know, sprinkle and see type deal. So I'm just gonna use this pretty sparingly because I did not season up the black beans or the quinoa when I prepared those. So Sprinkle in there also ground cumin. These are some chili staples. I use regular paprika, but I also added some smoked paprika that gives it a little flair to it. I also use this when I'm doing meat-free greens to get that smoked kind of flavor to it that you get from the smoked meats. Then I definitely use smoked paprika. So I'm gonna just sprinkle that all on there too. I'll give it some more sprays. Chili powder, same thing. I'll write out a little bit more of this recipe as well, and I will be posting. And this is sea salt. The only salts that I use at the house is sea salt. We don't have regular salt. I will also be posting this on my YouTube channel too. So I'm gonna do some stirring, get that quinoa, get those beans, sauce, everything really mixed around in there. Oh, I think I forgot, also have garlic powder. I use garlic powder like on everything, almost everything. Just like sea salt. Sea salt, the main ingredients I normally use for a lot of seasoning stuff are gonna be sea salt, black pepper, and garlic powder, garlic and onion powder. That's a lot of recipes calls for that. So right now I'm still just kind of adding on seasons as I see fit. This is, I'm gonna put some more smoked paprika and cumin. That gives that nice little chili flavor to it. A little more sea salt, not gonna kill it, but sea salt, but go from there. Some more stirring. So what I'll do in the slow cooker, since the quinoa's cooked, the corn was a little bit frozen, so pretty much it doesn't really need to stay on that long, and we eat kind of late anyways sometimes. So now that I've gotten that all stirred up, that should be all ready to rock and roll. I will probably just put that in the slow cooker. I'll put it on high because we're trying to speed it up a little bit. Hour maybe. Let me see what time it is. Oh, it's kind of a little bit later now, but I'll probably keep it on there on high at least for an hour. Then we'll be ready to eat. So here's a nice vegetarian quinoa chili. The quinoa is really going to get you some nutritional benefits. Definitely imperative for women, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, to be able to get those grains, seeds, looking at a well-balanced diet, and letting your body know and let you know that you don't have to get all your support from protein from meat-based products. So you can still get a wide variety of nutritional value from plant-based products, easier in your system, and it gives you those nutrients that you need as you progress into later stages in life as well. So that's it. We got our quinoa chili, vegetarian chili. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the slow cooker, get it ready, and I might have to report back and see how the boys think since they're my taste testers. All right, have a good evening, morning, whenever you may be viewing this. And once again, post in the comments any questions that you may have, and I'll try to get together this recipe as well. All right, bye.